Hello guys and gals, me Mutahar, and today we're going to be looking at one of the darkest rabbit holes on YouTube, one of the most evil, sinister sides of the platform. One that's actually permeating across the entire internet as we know, not just YouTube, but all the way up to Facebook, Twitter, everything imaginable. Now, you've probably heard of something known as Monkeygate. I made a video about this in 2018 when we actually looked into the monkey situation on YouTube. Now, to understand, to describe effectively what's going on, is that there is a series of videos where animals are being harmed, put into dangerous situations, constantly uploaded into the nether regions of YouTube. You never see it when you're Googling for something or searching for something in a term, but typically what will happen is sick individuals will put this into specific playlists, and those will be shared around in the background. Now, I'm proud to say that, thank God, the Federal Bureau, even if they are a little bit slow, have actually ended up arresting an individual, one of the people, and they've actually brought some insight into how this entire rabbit hole works. According to the Wisconsin State Journal, a southwestern Wisconsin man will plead guilty to a federal charge alleging that he paid someone in Indonesia to take a video of the actual harming of an animal and sent that video to them to the United States. And we're actually going to be looking into this as well too, but this individual has pleaded to this, and the charge carries up to 7 years in prison and a $250,000 fine, as it should. Now, for those of you who don't actually recall, we actually covered something known as the TikTok cat killer at the time, which was somebody that was posting images of harmed cats, kittens, whatever, posting it on TikTok in a live manner. We also recently looked at a situation involving the cat blender. And of course, I'm not going to go too hard into the descriptions of these entire videos because that's not the focal point. But even in those situations, what had happened was the FBI got involved. So not just the FBI, but you've got several animal cruelty divisions. So that person, the TikTok cat killer, was arrested, and they were basically, they did their time, and they were arrested on a federal animal cruelty charge. So if you actually look into it, Kokomo resident right here actually states that beginning or at least about May 3rd, 2020, and continuing to at least July 8th, 2020, this individual, Scott, began posting images and videos over various social media platforms that depicted Scott harming cats and dogs and whatnot. So of course, it got the attention of, the internet. I made a big video on it. And of course, obviously, lawyers got involved. And of course, the FBI ended up getting involved. Now, the government takes a serious stance on this kind of stuff as well. So if you actually go to the US Department of Justice, they do talk about animal cruelty and how it is a serious crime that leads to incredibly serious, horrific outcomes. This was written on April 2019. And of course, right over here, I guess one of the interesting points of truth here is, in all cases, detection, response, and prosecution of these crimes is critical, not only to end the suffering of helpless animals, but to prevent the commission of additional or future crimes by their tormentors. IATC, which translates to animal torture and cruelty, intentional, is the gateway to acts of extreme, remorseless violence and must be as vigorously addressed as any other crime. And this is the stance that pretty much every law enforcement agency and every human being should have. But of course, that's not how it goes. So what happened to Monkeygate so far? How far did this rabbit hole go? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sad to say that compared to the last time we looked at it, it got way worse. Now, I'm not going to be showing you videos, but I'll read you a title. Baby monkey cried for its dead mother. Now, in this video, the best way to describe it is the mother was absolutely killed, and their own child was placed on top of their own dead parent. It is a level of fucked up, quite literally, that I guess can't be understated. But what's really disgusting is the actual content over here. And you might be wondering, whoa, Muta, surely it has some age restriction. Hell nah, this shit is completely available, okay? At least the nair on your asshole video that everyone was freaking out about a month ago, yeah, at least that had a community, an age restriction, right? Somebody jumped in and said, whoa, I guess you can't be showing no butthole to people under the age of 18, even though they didn't strike the video, which I'm totally in defense of. I mean, clearly it wasn't meant to be satisfying, but this doesn't even have an age restriction, and this is just straight up animal snuff being posted. Posted by who? An account known as Your Left Nut 1. And this account posts tons of actual animals and whatnot. But of course, the one that gets the most popularity is the monkey. Everything else before and after gets like 400 views, and you're lucky to break 1,000 views, okay? But the monkey one ended up almost gathering 200,000 views too. So this is a channel that doesn't exist primarily for spreading this material. It's just a channel that has this sitting around. And the reason why this has so many views is it was actually part of an entire playlist. And these playlists are made by these random accounts that just put the most disgusting content available, and it's shared around on Telegram, forums, Facebook, private messages, Twitter, and there is a sick community of people watching this. Now, this video is uploaded, a monkey killed hit by a car, okay? And it's pretty much as descriptive as possible, like it is what it is. And of course, one of the top pinned comments, ugh, now the car needs to be disinfected. Yup. Sub for what? Watching an animal die? Compliments to the driver for good aim. So cute, 10 points for the driver. And the comment sections are pretty much like this for the most part. You know, this is actually one of the worst videos because it's actually really difficult to find a good comment in amongst the most disgusting ones. And again, this is one of those channels where like the only popping video they ever had was the monkey getting hit by the car, nothing really else. Not the Mercedes here, not really anything. No. All of it was pretty much like pointless in the algorithm. And then of course, the last one here is by Nitesh Singh, who writes, "Shock the monkey by electric wires," showcasing the actual death of a monkey by, touching electrical wires, which you shouldn't be doing. But animals are not human beings, they have no idea. And of course, top comment here is 47 controller disconnected. My God. Whew. That'll teach him not to evolve into a human. He finally found the cook me up formula. Ooh, damn, this truly a shocking video. My God. Love that satisfying thud at the end. Clearly there is no Lord saved in these comment sections. Truly disgusting material. Then of course the one is where an animal is literally dying here, gutted by alpha male and thrown from a tree, where one of the top comments is, "This video is what dreams are made of." The excruciating agony in its eyes and on its face while watching the last breaths coming are absolutely amazing, and this video is epic. Yeah, this guy's gonna be a fucking serial killer in like 2 months. 100%. I'll make like a solid bet right now. This is a sicko. Now, of course, this is just one example of Monkeygate. Now, what's really disgusting is obviously a lot of these videos, what they have in common is they've been filmed in Indonesia, in India, poorer parts of the world where what it seems like is people from here, North America, are giving these guys like $100 to film some of the most disgusting stuff, putting animals in danger just so they can get some incredibly low-risk snuff for whatever gratification. Now, there was an investigation by the BBC in this situation too, where they looked into this situation regarding multiple animal videos. And of course, where they found out was like a lot of these people were being led to things like Telegram. Love watching this stuff. How can I find him? I can pay him. And of course, Telegram being one of the first social media services where you can connect, interact with some of these sickos, and start paying. Now, this case takes us back to United States v. Herrera. So Kenneth Herrera, as I showed earlier, was the individual that was arrested by the Federal Bureau, by the authorities. And they actually have possibly up to a $250,000 fine and several years in prison. Again, this is just an indictment. This is not a this is just an accusation by the government. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty. I just want to put that in as a disclaimer. So here they write, on about December 28, 2021 and 30th, 2021, so a while ago, the defendant, Kenneth, unlawfully and unknowingly aided, abetted, counseled, commanded, induced, procured, and caused the creation of an animal crush video. Animal crush video being like, it generally stems from the idea that you crush the animal with a foot. You get it. Namely, an obscene digital recording showing a juvenile macaque being subjected to serious bodily injury. So inside the plea agreement over here, which we're going to read, inside the factual basis section, it gets really disgusting. On December 28, 2021, a videographer KS in Indonesia sent an encrypted message via an online messaging app to the defendant. The messaging app was Telegram. KS attached a photo of a juvenile macaw to the message and told the defendant, if you want, it's only 100, that's okay. I've already bid. Who's got it? Was my neighbor. So cheap. 5 minutes later, the defendant replied, yeah, I'll take it, smiley face. KS asked the defendant if he wanted pliers or hammer. And KS said both. Use hammers to break hands, arms, and feet, and pliers to smash God knows what else. It gets really disgusting. Jesus Christ. So this moron, a day later, says the defendant sent $100 via an online payment platform to KS. They even sent payment confirmation. And in the payment memo line, the defendant stated, neighbor monkey troubles. Bank records showed this payment caused an instant transfer from the defendant's checking account to a bank in Prairie du Chien, Wisconsin. And then, of course, the actual filmographer sent the defendant 10 video files, which a special agent from the Federal Bureau reviewed the videos and provided a description for one video, where at least in image 8787.mp4, the video, an unidentifiable male is wearing sandals is seen holding a young monkey down to the ground. So again, truly disgusting stuff. And what happened was, obviously, after this investigation, finally it culminated with the FBI and the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Services interviewing the defendant, and the actual defendant admitted that they ordered these videos from this sick, disgusting fucking videographer. Now, what's going to happen to the videographer in Indonesia, or maybe India, or really any videographer that films this stuff? Probably nothing, okay? Because realistically, the only people that care about these laws being broken are us. And on the other side of the world, they got too many other worries than dealing with, obvious animal abuse, right? This is something that's not treated equally in every part of the world. I've discussed this with the cat blender video, where I even showcased that China, where the crime was allegedly taking place, actually had, just very recently offered some form of animal welfare in their legal system. Other than that, they don't give a shit. Now, what's really wild about it is it's kind of like Manhunt, the video game, the game that was all about snuff stuff, except this is, unfortunately, so low risk that, a lot of people do it, and they'll never be caught because the government doesn't have time to investigate every single Telegram channel or every single transaction to these sickos. Okay, I think the 4chaners here put it the best. There's nothing paranormal about this. Middle-class psychos paying third worlders pennies to record, torture stuff. It is what it is. But where it gets down to is like why these people request these videos and what happens after the gratification they get from the monkey stuff starts to wane off. Do they move towards more human stuff? Do they start even ordering more human stuff? As sick as that is, which, thank God, I've never come across any form of order service for human, torture stuff. Thank God I've never done it. I hope to God it doesn't. I mean, it probably does exist, but I hope to God that it never gets solidified in my head. And unfortunately, it's not the only thing the FBI is looking into. Obviously, there are tons of these cases. One other example is one in June 14, 2023. A federal indictment was unsealed charging a Prineville, Oregon man with administering an online abuse group and illegally possessing firearms as a dismissed military officer. So here they reference David Noble, who's a nearly 50-year-old person, has been charged with conspiring to engage in animal crushing and creating and distributing animal videos. Yeah, this is like somebody running an alleged entire network. Now, of course, ladies and gentlemen, creating those videos, according to this, is punishable by up to 7 years in Fed prison and 3 years supervised release. Absolutely. Now, according to BBC, according to the investigation they did, they ended up finding out one of the groups, the largest Telegram group that still operates to this day, spreading this kind of filth, is called Million Tears. And it's even alleged that Kenneth may be a member or was a member of Million Tears, but it's just a giant Telegram group where this kind of stuff is being shared around. And honestly, I can't wait for the day when the people running this group all unanimously get taken down by the FBI or relevant authorities. And so this kind of stuff can hopefully just stop, even a little bit. At the end of the day, one thing I've learned about these dark rabbit holes on the internet is there is no ending them. For as long as human curiosity and sick people exist, there will be people ordering the most disgusting material off of the internet. But I think what's also really shocking and not really, is the fact that all it took was $100 and some third worlder to send some of the most depraved imagery, videos, to somebody with just a little bit of curiosity and sick tendencies on this side of the world. Ladies and gentlemen, hopefully YouTube, Twitter, Facebook takes a stance again, looks at a lot of this stuff, and hopefully tries to stop it going on into the forward. I'm sure there's a lot of tools that they can deal with, but yeah, this is some really sick stuff, and honestly, the only reason that I can even talk about it is A, to revisit an old rabbit hole that I looked at over 4 years ago, and also because there's some good that came out of it. A real sick individual who was caught basically buying from somebody on the other side of the world is now facing years in prison. And if they're really guilty of this, then I hope to God they experience a very, very shitty time in prison. And knowing the U.S. prison complex, that's not a hard bet to make. Ladies and gentlemen, this is me, Mutahar, and yeah, if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike it if you dislike it. I am out.